広島県議会議長
内閣総理大臣として
As Prime Minister, I would like to offer my sincerest condolences to the souls of those who fell victim to the atomic bomb. And I would also like to offer my heartfelt sympathy to the survivors who are still suffering from the after effects of the atomic bombing.
心からのお見舞いを申し上げます。広島、長崎にもたらされた惨禍を
We must not repeat the tragedy that was brought upon Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It is our country's responsibility, as the only nation that have suffered atomic bombings, to uphold the three non-nuclear principles and lead the global initiative for a world without nuclear weapons.
核戦争のない世界、そして核兵器のない世界の実現。
I pledge to work with all my strength for a world without nuclear wars and weapons, as well as eternal peace.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Levin, and I proudly own and operate Puppy Levin. Puppy Levin is a pet care salon dedicated to caring for your furry companions. We provide certified dog grooming services along with boarding and doggy daycare. Our facility is family-owned and operated and promise personalized care for every pet that comes through our doors. If you're worried about your furry friend being lonely when you're gone, we also have on-site personnel 24/7 just for their comfort. Follow us on Facebook and call or text us at 814-758-9259 to make an appointment today.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
Sheer Design is Titusville's exclusive Paul Mitchell-focused salon. This full-service salon specializes in coloring, cuts, nails, and tanning. Owner Angela Saxon has over 20 years' experience as a Paul Mitchell professional. She and her licensed staff offer all cuts and styles for men and women of all ages. Call 814-827-0010 or stop in at 116 South Kerr Street in Titusville.
J. Gill Plumbing and Heating takes pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. With over 30 years of experience, our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. Our team is dedicated to making your home the ultimate place of comfort. Call today to get a free estimate. We also offer financing options and membership opportunities that provide peace of mind and cost savings. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online 24/7 at jgillplumbingheating.com.
If you're looking for a professional massage therapist, Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville is here for you. Ryan Rauch graduated from Slippery Rock University with a bachelor's degree in exercise and rehabilitative sciences with an emphasis in athletic training. Tranquil Moments offers a wide range of services, from Swedish massage to deep tissue, sugar scrubs to hot towel inclusion therapy. Like them on Facebook and visit their website to learn more about all the services they offer. Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville.
Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733.
Wall Street's main indexes ended lower on Tuesday, with the Dow falling marginally, the S&P 500 shedding 0.5%, and the Nasdaq losing almost 2/3%. President Donald Trump said tariffs on pharmaceutical imports could eventually go as high as 250%, and signaled duties on semiconductors and chips could be announced in the next week or so. Meanwhile, second quarter earnings results from a slew of companies reflected the weight of tariffs already settled, said Brian Mulberry, client portfolio manager at Zacks Investment Management.
We're starting to see stress form in some of those less healthy balance sheets. Their earnings are starting to slow and, in fact, even turn negative to a certain extent. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, we saw Kohl's turn into a meme stock because, again, their earnings structures are just starting to weaken over time. And then you turn back to the Mag 7, where it just still seems like they've got such a tight grip on the value of this market. They represent a large portion of it. They still make up roughly 30% of the market cap of the S&P, and they're still driving 70 to 75% of the earnings growth in the S&P 500. So we're still in this moment where the Mag 7 goes, the market tends to follow.
Shares of Yum Brands lost more than 5% after the company missed estimates for the second quarter as steep trade duties restricted consumer spending. Among other movers, shares of Snap tumbled roughly 15% in extended trading after the social media company reported its slowest quarterly revenue growth in more than a year, a sign of increased competition from larger rivals, including Meta. And shares of Advanced Micro Devices, down nearly 1.5% at the close, dropped further in extended trading despite forecasting third quarter revenue above Wall Street estimates. Shares of the AI chip maker have climbed more than 40% this year, far outpacing a nearly 12% jump in the benchmark chip index.
Normally, when you see the Fed lower interest rates, the whole rate curve, meaning all of the long end of the curve, tends to move down in line with the rate cut that's proposed. Last time they did that, especially with the jumbo cut in September of last fall, the 10-year actually moved up slightly. And that was just simply a reflection of the market's concern about why are we getting such a big rate cut? Is this because things are actually worse under the surface of the economy than you're telling us? I mean, a jumbo cut doesn't normally just happen. This similar type of backdrop is forming for the next meeting in September of this year, where they could be compelled to do another jumbo cut based on the labor data that we just saw and the strong revisions down from May and June's numbers. And so we could see a same type of pattern where a jumbo rate cut, which is supposed to free up capital and make the cost of capital cheaper, but it actually ends up tightening on the long end of the curve because the real concern is that we're approaching some type of an economic slowdown. And so it's important because a lot of people think that if the rate gets cut by the Fed, then my mortgage rate should be cheaper as well. That's not how it works. Most car loans and mortgages are actually tied to that 10-year treasury, making it such an important benchmark. So you could get that same dynamic. Again, a rate cut, but long end yields go higher, meaning you don't get any relief as a borrower. And that would be concerning for a lot of investors. So in the immediate reaction of tariffs going into effect and also kind of taking into consideration how earnings have gone so far, we're actually starting to see utilities do very well. In the last 5 days, utilities is actually up 4.5%. Over the last 30 days, it's up almost 7%. Now you compare that to technology returns just sector by sector, only up roughly 2% over the last 30 days. So does this mean investors are simply rotating to a more defensive sector in the market, or is this a byproduct of an AI adjacent sector that's actually benefiting from those direct investments, roughly $1 trillion worth of business investment from foreign governments, and then you have another $1 trillion from private companies themselves? I think what we're starting to see is the actual impact on positive earnings estimates in a sector that's normally defensive, but it's starting to grow faster relative than its peers. And so taken into consideration both ways, utilities is a great way to hedge against tariffs because they don't really pay tariffs necessarily. necessarily. They might benefit from them. And then other sectors are starting to wobble a little bit. We're getting some very mixed reports out of the consumer discretionary sector. Staples is doing just okay. So we would actually pivot probably more into some of those relative safer sectors like financial services, and then barbell that with your exposure into technology, looking for that earnings growth.
Disney's ESPN reached a landmark deal with the National Football League to acquire NFL Network, as well as other league media properties on Tuesday. In exchange, the NFL will take a 10% equity in the sports network. Both parties on Tuesday confirmed the deal, which is still subject to regulatory approval. The Athletic, citing sources, reported it could potentially be worth billions of dollars. ESPN declined to comment on the figure, but said the deal would bolster the offerings on its upcoming ESPN streaming service, which will cost $29.99 per month and could launch by the end of August, according to Disney's CEO. It will provide access to ESPN's popular studio shows, as well as its wide portfolio of professional and college sports. Under the new agreement, ESPN would own and operate the TV and streaming rights to the NFL Network, which would continue to carry 7 games a year. Meanwhile, the league will continue to own, operate, and produce NFL Red Zone, a service that allows fans to watch scoring highlights. The league will also retain ownership of certain media properties, such as NFL Films, and platforms such as the NFL Podcast and NFL Plus.
Across the Northeast, we continue to stay underneath more of a high-pressure system control. Now, there is some weak instability that is going to allow for some spotty afternoon storms, especially for the state of New York, as well as a few showers there pulling across Virginia, creating a few spots of some rain showers seen for regions like D.C. into Maryland. But outside of those small spots of some active weather, largely we are seeing here that much of the Northeast is staying with some seasonable sunshine. We are still noting that we are slightly hazy as well, but we're getting more to that southerly flow, and that's going to start to help to kick out some of that smoke, especially where it has been creating some of those air quality concerns. Now, Thursday looking to be very similar to what we're experiencing today. Still some very rogue areas of some showers and some rumbles, but we are getting more and more of that southerly flow, and that is going to bump up that temperature trend as we are expected to talk about some of that dangerous heat in store for the weekend forecast.
All right, middle of the week. Let's check that forecast for northwest Pennsylvania. Partly to mostly cloudy skies today. Stray shower thunderstorm possible with a high today in the low 80s. Partly cloudy skies tonight and a low of 60. Thursday mostly sunny. Low 80s. Friday mostly sunny. Low 80s. Saturday mostly sunny. Mid 80s. And Sunday, mostly sunny, upper 80s. Things warming up by the end of the weekend and the first part of next week. Area temperatures this morning, Meadville at 64 degrees, Cambridge Springs, Edinburgh at 62, Titusville 62, Franklin this morning at 62, and Oil City at 62 degrees here at 7:15. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Happy Wednesday, middle of the week. It is the 6th day of August. Glad you're with us here this morning. And we've made it through all your headlines here. We've got birthdays, what we're celebrating. We'll do that here in just a few moments. Amy will share those celebrations with us. Looking forward to that this morning. You were having some problems, yesterday?
Yeah.
Logging into all that
was it
stuff?
Yesterday?
This whole week's been kind of weird.
It's been a fast slow week.
Not for me. It's been a slow week for me.
I know.
Trying to walk around.
I know, hobble monster.
Yeah, everybody that looks at me, because I'll be walking in with like a cane. I'm trying not to. Yesterday, like every day's getting a little better. it still hurts like crazy. But they're like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" And then I say,
"It's gotten fun, right?
Yeah,
like the stories have gotten better."
I was playing golf, and they're like, "Really? Are you like Happy Gilmoreing the?"
Oh,
I'm like, no, it was wet. They were watering the greens, and it spilled over. It's just nobody believes it at first, but
it's so weird. It's believable.
Do you know the worst part of that whole thing? I mean, yeah, you would think the pain, the limping, not being able to, run around.
Yeah.
You helping me with everything. The worst part actually was me not able to find the ball that I hit.
Oh, yeah.
Like nobody was watching where it went. And I liked that ball too. I realized everybody was concerned, with me falling to the ground, but
yeah, we didn't watch where the ball went. I'm so sorry.
I was asked this, but I couldn't remember in the moment because I was focused on, falling and not totally killing myself. What did you laugh at first?
I'm like, and then I'm like, oh.
Okay, that part I remember. The O's, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, at first we're like, oh,
Yeah.
We didn't know like if you were like being dramatic because you didn't like your hit, or then all of a sudden it was like, oh no, he's not being dramatic.
Yeah. No. I came down.
You're not usually dramatic.
Came down on my ankle.
Yeah. I don't want to make people think that you are a dramatic person. You're not.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It was just, yeah. I'm not really I'm not really good at those situations. I have to take myself out of the moment to realize it's a moment sometimes, I don't know. There are times when things happen and it's like, oh, I shouldn't be laughing right now.
Right.
Like they didn't mean to do that, or,
Yeah.
That's all.
Let's see, a couple quick headlines here this morning. Orange juice, known for its tangy, sweet taste, could be made with slightly less sugary oranges under a regulation proposed Tuesday by the Trump administration. While that move can sound like a way to make America healthier, it's actually at the behest of the Florida citrus industry as it grapples with changes to the crop and its sugar levels. The Food and Drug Administration described the proposed changes as unlikely to affect taste and nutritional value while providing flexibility to the food industry. Behind the proposal is the broader question of whether the breakfast staple is actually good for you. Orange juice contains nutrients, including calcium and vitamin C, but some nutritionalists argue that it's not enough to make up for the unnecessary calories and natural sugars. Juices are a dilemma, said Peter Lorre, executive director with the nonprofit Center for Science in the Public Interest, which advocates a healthy and safe food supply. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends instead eating real fruit, which contains more fiber than juice. The association advises against giving fruit juice to infants except to manage constipation. It also advises limiting how much juice parents should give older children, such as no more than 4 ounces per day for kids 1 to 3 years old. If you're going to have a small amount of juice, it's not going to be anything that anybody's going to worry about, said a retired food nutritionalist, food studies and public health at New York University, who called fruit juice delicious. When you worry about juice is when it's in large amounts, she added. Even though leading orange juice brands do not contain added sugars, high levels of natural sugars can still be harmful, some experts said. Orange juice is sugar water, said Barry Popkin, a professor of nutrition at the University of North Carolina. He must be a fun person to hang out with. Every juice is essentially sugar water. Shannon Shep, executive director of the Florida Department of Citrus, a state agency that markets and regulates the citrus industry, said consumers should note that the sugar is naturally derived. So there you go. That's happening with our orange juice. Although I did ask you to pick up some juicy juice for me the other day. And I love that stuff. But I don't drink it I'll have a little bit every couple days, not every day.
Yeah, no, that lasts you quite some time.
Thank you.
Yeah, it does.
Now, you drink a lot of orange juice, right?
Not a lot, but yeah, maybe a glass every other day. not like a big glass, a little.
Yeah, you just don't like the pulp. At all.
There used to be like a couple of the brands had like a low sugar option, but they've done away with that.
Oh, really?
Which drives me insane because I did like the lower sugar option.
Was that something that you just kind of got used to that taste?
Maybe. Now it's kind of like, ugh.
Well, let's see. What are the quick headlines? Oh, Will Howard. I was so excited to see Will Howard in the preseason games. He broke his hand.
Oh, no.
As of now, doesn't look like he needs surgery, but it's probably going to be 3 weeks of recuperating. So we will not be seeing Will Howard in preseason games, which kick off this week, by the way. I think Friday night, if I'm not mistaken. Usually that's when they start. So, yeah. Kind of disappointed about that. I was hoping to see him play. You want to get into birthdays and what we're celebrating?
Sure.
Or is it acting up for you again?
I'm getting there. It'll be fine. I got it.
All right, we're going to do birthdays here. Today is the 6th day of August.
All right.
And who's celebrating?
Actress Michelle Yeoh is 63. Director and writer M. Night Shyamalan is 55. Spice Girl Jerry Halliwell is 53. Actress Vera Farmiga is 52.
Oh, okay.
Conjuring. Actress Ever Carradine, I can't even say it, sorry, is 51. Actress Soul Moon Fry is 49. Actress Leslie Odom Jr. is 44. It's like tongue twister day for me. Sorry about that. There you go. That's all I got.
All right. Happy birthday to them. Happy birthday to you if today happens to be your birthday from all of us here this morning. Let's switch gears and find out what we're celebrating today.
All right. Sorry. Kind of like this one refreshed on me. Getting there. Maybe. All right. Whew. Balloons in Heaven Day. Bolivia's Independence Day. Celebration of San Salvador. Farm Worker Appreciation Day. Finish Your Degree Day. Hiroshima Day. Jamaica's Independence Day. National Fresh Breath Day. National Psychiatric Technician Appreciation Day. National Root Beer Float Day. National Wiggle Your Toes Day. Regatta Day. Sailor Moon Day. Clutter Awareness Week. And that is all.
Okay. So find something there to celebrate. Anything jump out at you?
Root Beer Float sounds pretty good. Yeah.
I think we have you especially have a fundraising event tonight.
We do.
And the place that is hosting that
we might be able
event,
to.
they make their own root beer, and it's really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we were there a couple weeks ago. They ran out. Like, that's how good it is.
Yeah. It is. It's actually, I'm not like... I like it. It's very good. I'm usually weird about that stuff, but it's very good. So I'm going to plug it, though, because if anybody, wants to come hang out with me tonight. It's the guest bartender night that benefits boys soccer boosters here in Titusville. And we'll be at Fat Chad's from 5 till 8. In the first hour, we have coaches, a present coach, and then a few retired coaches that will be covering the bar. And then we have parents and boosters covering, and then we have alumni. We have some former Rocket soccer players behind the bar that will be helping us out. So I'm pretty excited.
Sure.
It'll be fun. So come see me.
Are you just kind of managing everything, or will you be behind
I'm managing, and if I have to go behind the bar, I will, but nobody really wants that. So show up and keep Amy from getting behind there. Keep me from behind the bar. We'll be good.
All right. Hey, I'm going to...
Get some root beer.
Yeah. Well, no, absolutely. We have a project. I'm excited. We're visiting with our friends at Meadville Medical Center tonight. So we'll have more content. But as soon as we get back from that, we'll come over and join you.
Awesome.
Probably not the time to bring this story up this morning, especially if you're sitting having your breakfast. Maybe, you're sipping on some coffee or tea this morning. Local officials in North Yorkshire, England, shared a photo of a massive rat found inside a local home that measured more than 22 inches from nose to tail. Yeah. David Taylor and Stephen Martin, Eston Ward counselors, posted a photo to social media showing the enormous rat removal from the home by pest control workers. It's almost the size of a small cat, they said, which was more than 22 inches long. The officials wrote the discovery highlights the worsening problem of rodent infestation in the area. As your local counselors, we're calling on the council administration to take this seriously, the Post said. The people on the ground who do the work extremely hard, but we need this all around the borough. The counselors said that they are calling for full survey and treatment plan, increasing funding for rodent elimination in partnership between local authorities, pest control specialists, and property owners. Could you imagine pulling a 22-inch rat out of your... You got to hear that in the walls, right? Be like a bowling ball.
It's not really tiny scratching at that point in time. It's like claw. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no. Don't want that at all.
No, thank you.
I'm not, and I don't know anything about the home. I don't know if there's a place you could have put, if I say poison, some people are going to be like, yeah, kill the thing. And then you got other people who are like, oh, that's so mean. Yeah.
Me. Sorry. Make it go away.
Just make it go away.
Listen, this takes me back to like a long time ago. I went out in the morning for a run, and you were sleeping in at that time. We did not have the program at that time, so you were sleeping in. And I came in and opened the door. When I opened the door, a tiny mouse came in behind me and like went right for this vent. Well, there's like, it's stuck because this wasn't a real vent. And I'm like down there trying to like catch it, and you could hear my ruckus, and you came down, oh, catch it and make it, like, set it free. I'm like,
I said that?
Yeah. I'm like, it's right, don't be so nice to it.
I don't recall.
No, I set a trap and
I don't recall saying that.
You did. You most certainly did. It died.
Okay.
Inhumanely.
We got a busy morning ahead. Christa Lundy from the Meadville Chamber, they just wrapped up Thunder in the City.
Whew, I'd like to say maybe she can breathe, but nope, we're rolling into something else.
Absolutely. And then Kat Thompson's going to be joining us from the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce. Looking forward to catching up with Kat. And then we've got Mr. Will Price from the United Way, the Venango and Titusville region, joining us
busy
here this morning. And there's a lot going on with the folks at the United Way. So, especially, just weeks away from going back to school.
I know.
Crazy. So, looking forward to catching up with everybody. We got the latest headlines, though, right now. We'll also update you with the latest forecast. So, nice start to the day, though. That's what we're looking at here this morning in Northwest Pennsylvania. Happy Wednesday. This is the Morning Drill.
Waking up with the Morning Drill. Waking up with the Morning Drill. Waking up with the Morning Drill.
広島県議会議長
As Prime Minister, I would like to offer my sincerest condolences to the souls of those who fell victim to the atomic bomb. And I would also like to offer my heartfelt sympathy to the survivors who are still suffering from the after effects of the atomic bombing.
心からのお見舞いを申し上げます。広島、長崎にもたらされた惨禍を
We must not repeat the tragedy that was brought upon Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It is our country's responsibility, as the only nation that have suffered atomic bombings, to uphold the three non-nuclear principles and lead the global initiative for a world without nuclear weapons.
核戦争のない世界、そして核兵器のない世界の実現。
I pledge to work with all my strength for for a world without nuclear wars and weapons, as well as eternal peace.
Swooping in to save you over 11 grand off your next Chevy truck. It's Community Chevrolet's newest mascot, Independence Dog.
Getting you approved by day, fighting crime by night.
With Independence Day savings running all month long, you can save more than 11 grand off MSRP on a new Silverado, or save nearly 3 grand on hot new SUVs like the Trailblazer and the Equinox. Follow Independence Dog to explosive savings this month at Community Chevy.
Interstate Pipe and Supply takes pride in providing superior customer service. That's why our dedicated employees are well trained and have the experience to offer friendly, quick, and reliable service and support. Need materials delivered to your job site? No problem. Interstate offers fast delivery from our 4 locations in Western Pennsylvania. We also serve Eastern Ohio, Northern Western Virginia, and Western New York. Service means business at Western Pennsylvania's premier pipe and supply company, Interstate Pipe and Supply.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Welcome to Inspire Med Spa, the place you know and love for massages, Botox, laser resurfacing, and semi-permanent makeup. Now we're offering even more, including laser hair removal, tattoo removal, and hair rejuvenation. Our team is here to provide expert care in a peaceful, luxurious environment designed with your relaxation in mind. And with our newly added services, now you can get all your beauty services in one place. Visit Inspire Med Spa today, because you deserve to look and feel your best.
I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us, but try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same. But you have excuses because you're old, so it's okay.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom, ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
Whether you want to go and lead in your craft in the trades, whether you want to go and be that nurse or medical worker and have a real impact on lives, or whether you want to go and help that business improve its bottom line, this is the place. And now is your time to go with confidence, to go with skill, to go succeed. The Education and Training Center at Pitt Titusville.
Vehicle shopping? Make sure you check out Titusville Ford first. Shop our amazing selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. Visit us on Route 8 in Titusville and see why our customer service is a cut above the rest. Titusville Ford, your hometown dealer.
Wall Street's main indexes ended lower on Tuesday, with the Dow falling marginally, the S&P 500 shedding 0.5%, and the Nasdaq losing almost 2/3%. President Donald Trump said tariffs on pharmaceutical imports could eventually go as high as 250%, and signaled duties on semiconductors and chips could be announced in the next week or so. Meanwhile, second quarter earnings results from a slew of companies reflected the weight of tariffs already settled, said Brian Mulberry, client portfolio manager at Zacks Investment Management.
We're starting to see stress form in some of those less healthy balance sheets. Their earnings are starting to slow and, in fact, even turn negative to a certain extent. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, we saw Kohl's turn into a meme stock because, again, their earnings structures are just starting to weaken over time. And then you turn back to the Mag 7, where it just still seems like they've got such a tight grip on the value of this market. They represent a large portion of it. They still make up roughly 30% of the market cap of the S&P, and they're still driving 70 to 75% of the earnings growth in the S&P 500. So we're still in this moment where the Mag 7 goes, the market tends to follow.
Shares of Yum Brands lost more than 5% after the company missed estimates for the second quarter as steep trade duties restricted consumer spending. Among other movers, shares of Snap tumbled roughly 15% in extended trading after the social media company reported its slowest quarterly revenue growth in more than a year, a sign of increased competition from larger rivals, including Meta. And shares of Advanced Micro Devices, down nearly 1.5% at the close, dropped further in extended trading despite forecasting third quarter revenue above Wall Street estimates. Shares of the AI chip maker have climbed more than 40% this year, far outpacing a nearly 12% jump in the benchmark chip index.
Disney's ESPN reached a landmark deal with the National Football League to acquire NFL Network, as well as other league media properties on Tuesday. In exchange, the NFL will take a 10% equity in the sports network. Both parties on Tuesday confirmed the deal, which is still subject to regulatory approval. The Athletic, citing sources, reported it could potentially be worth billions of dollars. ESPN declined to comment on the figure, but said the deal would bolster the offerings on its upcoming ESPN streaming service, which will cost $29.99 per month and could launch by the end of August, according to Disney's CEO. It will provide access to ESPN's popular studio shows, as well as its wide portfolio of professional and college sports. Under the new agreement, ESPN would own and operate the TV and streaming rights to the NFL Network, which would continue to carry 7 games a year. Meanwhile, the league will continue to own, operate, and produce NFL Red Zone, a service that allows fans to watch scoring highlights. The league will also retain ownership of certain media properties, such as NFL Films, and platforms such as the NFL Podcast and NFL Plus.
OpenAI is in early-stage talks about a potential share sale that could value it at $500 billion. That's according to a Reuters source. The number would represent a big leap from its current valuation, which is put at $300 billion. It would also underscore the firm's rapid gains in users and sales. Sam Altman's outfit is now on track to hit an annual revenue rate of $20 billion by year-end. It claims about 700 million active weekly users for its flagship ChatGPT products, not far off double the number in February. The source says the deal would precede any full IPO. It would reportedly be structured to allow employees to cash out billions of dollars in shares. That could offer financial incentives to staffers amid fierce competition for the top AI talent. Facebook parent Meta, for one, has been spending big to recruit leading players in the sector as it tries to catch rivals. The share sale would come hot on the heels of a $40 billion fundraising round led by Japanese tech investor SoftBank. OpenAI is also working on a restructuring that would move it away from its current capped profit model and open the way for an IPO.
A Across the Northeast, we continue to stay underneath more of a high-pressure system control. Now, there is some weak instability that is going to allow for some spotty afternoon storms, especially for the state of New York, as well as a few showers there pulling across Virginia, creating a few spots of some rain showers seen for regions like D.C. into Maryland. But outside of those small spots of some active weather, largely we are seeing here that much of the Northeast is staying with some seasonable sunshine. We are still noting that we are slightly hazy as well, but we're getting more to that southerly flow, and that's going to start to help to kick out some of that smoke, especially where it has been creating some of those air quality concerns. Now, Thursday looking to be very similar to what we're experiencing today. Still some very rogue areas of some showers and some rumbles, but we are getting more and more that southerly flow, and that is going to bump up that temperature trend as we are expected to talk about some of that dangerous heat in store for the weekend forecast.
Joining us this morning, our friends from Drakewell Museum and Park. It's Emily Weaver and new to the program, John Hetrick. John, Emily, good to see you this morning. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you for having us on here.
John, before we learn about you, Emily, give us a quick rundown of what's been happening at Drakewell.
What hasn't been happening at Drakewell? It's been a very busy summer, and the summer is slipping by very quickly as a result. But today is our last day of the children's camp that we do, Discovery Day Camp. So we did that every Thursday here this month. It was well attended. We had over 20 kids at each day.
Wow.
So we were really excited to have it, and it was sponsored by CSR Services. So we're really grateful for their help in making the camp possible. But I don't have a lot to do with the camp, but I think everyone's kind of like, it was a great time, but we're all okay with it being the last day. So
on to the next, though, right?
Yeah. So on to the next stuff is August. August is always a very busy month for us, and it, rightfully so. It's the anniversary month of Drake's Well. August 27th, 1859. So 166 years ago this coming month that, he came to Titusville, and the rest is history,
Yeah.
But
is it pretty powerful to have somebody like Sarah Goodman, who was around then, to be able to share that history? Or is that,
Yeah, in fact, it's amazing that she has lived this long.
Yeah,
and we
absolutely.
can go to her every time and say, so what was it like?
What was it like? Yeah, not everybody has that. So, so before we really get into a lot of what's coming up in August, John, tell us about yourself. Where are you from?
Well, I grew up in Emlenton, Pennsylvania, and I work at the museum now, but I've been working there for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
I started out running the replica, so I ran the steam engine and things in the building, and then when I saw them listed for this position, I knew I liked the people, I knew I liked working there, so I figured it would be a good opportunity.
And the position that you're now in is what?
It's called an outreach coordinator. So what I'm doing is I'm going places, I'm setting up the table and saying, hey, come to Drakewell. I'm putting together... we used to have something a few years ago called the Meet You program, which was a box trailer that was set up inside with displays and history and information, kind of focused a lot more on the science and things rather than just the history. But it was a sort of a mobile information unit that was able to go to schools, go to events. We all over Pennsylvania, down into Virginia, Ohio. We would end up at the Carnegie Science Center every once in a while, stuff like that. Just presenting that to mainly kids, mainly geared towards younger individuals. But, as a whole, it was that information. It supplied it to people who couldn't necessarily always get to the museum. So now what I do is it's a little bit more museum centric. So I'm getting information about the museum out there. I'm getting information on what we do, what we specialize in, sort of what the information, the people, the places, stuff like that. As of late, I've been going around to a few different events. I've got plans coming up for Oil Fest, having our booth set up, just things like that.
Very cool. So, I mean, it sounds like you get to do things at the museum, but also travel a bit. And
It's
visit with people.
It's pretty neat. I've gone so far. I haven't done too much that's too far. The furthest out I've been is I went out to the Pennsylvania Lumber Museum for their Bark Peeler Festival. So that's out past Coudersport. And their Bark Peelers Festival is very similar to what we do for Drake Day, but based around the early days of the Pennsylvania lumber industry.
Oh, wow. So I never knew that existed. That's really
it's
cool.
a cool place. It's pretty sweet.
So you probably learn things as well. You're teaching somebody something, and you're probably learning something.
Oh, I'm always learning things. I love working around a museum because there's always somebody who's got a story about something, especially being based around an industry that is so integral to us in this area. You know, everyone's got a grandfather who was a driller or, worked with a torpedo company or did something like that. Or they themselves worked in the oil fields, remember going out, tripping over rod lines in the woods and stuff like that.
Wow.
It's just neat.
Yeah, it's cool. So, Emily, we come into August here. You mentioned it's a pretty big month.
It's a killer.
Yeah. Just kind of list some of the things, again, that are taking place because there's a lot to take in.
There is. So right off the bat, we're going to be having, first is, of course, the Titusville Oil Festival, which we, take part in. John, now that he's here, he can run the tent down at Scheide Park during the food and craft vendor event that they have for Oil Festival. We've been doing that now. This is, third year since I've been here that we've been down at the festival and had a tent, information, talking to locals, talking to people visiting back to the area during the festival. And we're going to have a parade entry this year. John's been working on that. We're going to have an engine on a trailer.
Yeah.
Which engine are we taking?
So we are bringing an Oil City Boiler Works. It's an older gas engine I believe it's the one that actually used to sit by the caretaker's cottage.
Sorry, it's not a Titusville engine.
We do have some Titusville engines, but this one was the best shape for us to use this year. But
no one needs to know.
But I've spent the better part of yesterday getting it all cleaned up, scrubbing it down. Today we're going to coat it with some oil just to protect it. And then we actually have it on the back of one of our trucks we have for doing stuff around the site. And the hope is we're going to have a few people, standard parade stuff, throwing candy, all that good stuff. And then we actually have a very special guest we're going to feature in our truck as well. Someone very important to us at the well, who also, cares a lot about Titusville.
Are we allowed to say?
I don't know why we wouldn't be.
Jerry Knickerbocker. He's a great friend of Drakewell.
That's sort of the whole thing. It's the theme this year is Heisman and Friends, and who better to have as a friend in our float than someone who's been super important to a lot of the stuff we do and stuff around in Titusville.
So we'll be busy both days of the festival. And then wait, there's more. We're also going to be having our Drake Day event the day after on Sunday, August 10th. Wow. So because we don't like to relax. So last year was circus, as you know. This year is not circus, but I am really excited about this year's event. It's all living history. So what that means is, reenactors. We're going to be having some demonstrations going on, blacksmiths, coopering demonstrations. Coopers make the barrels. That was a big, part of the oil region here in the oil boom days. So trying to portray like what it was like here during the oil boom, like 1860s, 1870s, right after Drake's famous strike. So, and we're also going to be having a local author from Mercer County. Her name is Cynthia Frank Kreitzer, and she wrote a book called A Civil War Husband, and she's going to be doing a presentation on that at 1:00 that day too. So there's going to be all kinds of different things going on. I'm looking forward to it. It's always nice to have, a day at Drake Well where there's more than just the ordinary going on, and seeing more people visiting the site. So
Nice.
it'll be fun. Yeah.
And then right after that is the marathon.
Yeah. I was thinking fall gas up, and then you're like marathon. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. August 17th. It's just a little old fundraiser called the Drakewell Marathon and Half. Registration for that is still open. We'll have it open up until like the morning of the event. You can register. All proceeds benefit Friends of Drakewell, and of course, in turn, Friends of Drakewell supports Drakewell Museum. So it all goes back to the site. We've been having the marathon for many years. It's a lot of work. Adam Peterson is our race director, and believe it or not, he is directing the race from, I believe he's over in Kuwait right now. He's deployed.
Wow.
So him and I have been actually running this event through, what's the app? I think it's a chat app. Yeah, WhatsApp. Thank you. Okay. I'm like 38. Anyway, so we've been, texting back and forth on there. It's kind of amazing. He's way overseas, and we're actually doing really well with the event. I mean, it's right on track. So
that's great.
So that's kind of interesting. So we're looking forward to that. That's August 17th, and then we'll have Fall Gas Up on September 13th. And I know September, that's not August, but trust me, we get like maybe 1 week of no event, and then we're right back into it. So the Fall Gas Up is one of my favorite events personally, so I'm looking forward to that.
Now, fall, you guys do some school tours?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
I believe if Sarah was here, she would know the count, but she already has quite a few school tours booked.
Wow.
And we're still doing the free admission, free transportation. Crawford Gives is coming up on August 12th. That's another thing that I'm working on, behind the scenes, during all of this, is getting us onto that program. We're going to be fundraising specifically for the transportation portion of that school program.
That's
to
great.
raise some money for that. So we're really excited.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you get into the fall season, and we can get into a little bit of that, but it's just kind of like winds up.
Well, and he's going to be going to Crawford County Fair. So it's Oil Fest, Drake Day, Marathon, Crawford County Fair, Crawford Gives, and then Fall Gas Up.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, are you there all week at the Crawford County Fair, or just a couple days or a day?
As of right now, we're definitely going to be there on Titusville Day. Looking at it right now, we're probably going to be there for 2 or 3 other days as well, just kind of spread out through that.
Yeah.
We usually team up with Crawford County Historical Society.
Yeah,
they have their permanent exhibit there.
Yes.
And Josh Sheritz has always been really cool to work with. From the beginning, he was like, well, if you guys ever need a spot, come up to our building, and you're welcome to have a display there. So we're working with him on that. But Titusville Day was moved to Friday. We just found that out through the chamber. So we will be there.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll be doing football that night. First football game.
Ooh,
That's
early.
rough. You're watching the Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Friends from Drakewell Museum and Park with us here this morning. Here's a great picture of John out and about. This is a Cool Spring Power Museum, but
that's a great picture.
Yeah, but again, that just shows you what to expect. What kind of questions do people ask you when they come up to visit?
They're very varied. One of my favorites I get is pit hole open? We get that a lot. Pit hole, unfortunately, does have a shorter schedule whenever we're open, just because we are running it, as well as running the main site, as well as doing caretaking for the McClintock well. I get a lot of questions about, how far is it from here? Which lets me test out my Google Map brain, see if I'm thinking about it right. But really, it's a lot of people just wondering, well, what is it? What's it about? And that I love that question, because I really like what we're about. I tell people, we're an industry museum. We're based around the early days of the oil field. Big time periods are 1859 to 1890, 1900, turn of the century. Those are the times we really focus in depth on, but we cover the oil industry from 1859 all the way up to modern times. Everything that happened in between, people, places, the equipment used, the techniques used, stuff like that. I tell them we really have a neat location because we are located just about 100 yards from that site of the original Drake well. That's really, for all intents and purposes, what kickstarted the modern oil industry. I tell them a little bit about, how we demonstrate on the site. We have our steam engine, we have our walking beam and our setup for pumping. We have our central power that runs rod lines all around the site. I tell them about how we're always doing improvements to the site. Right now, we are working on our blacksmith shop. We're putting in a coopering shop, which we've never had before. In the next few years, we're going to be setting up. We actually have another central power that a family donated to us from up in Bradford that's going to get put on the site exactly as it stood when it was there. So it'll be another engine we'll have and be running. And there's all sorts of plans for the site over the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah. The whole idea is to get people to come back to Drake Well and, in effect, come back to our region, visit our region as well. So, this is great. He mentioned the Meet You program earlier. We haven't had that since 2019 when they ended it. And then, of course, we had COVID. And it's taken this long to get an outreach program back up and running. So this is only the beginning. His display looked awesome in that picture, and he looked great. But there's going to be more to it as time goes on and we build this up. So this is very exciting.
Well, a couple things. I think if you were to describe the museum to somebody, they'd be like, not there, not Titusville. But yeah, it's here. And I was just through there May for an event, and again, you just kind of walk through and you just go, I can't believe this is here. This is a really great space. It's a wonderful museum. The other thing, you mentioned Pit Hole. Again, big celebration this year, 160th anniversary.
It all goes back to Pit Hole. That's what we say at the museum. Everything goes back to Pit Hole.
Well, it's still open Saturdays and Sundays through the end of August.
Yes, it sure is. Yep.
Take advantage of that. You mentioned not doing the circus this year. Is that something that would come back down the road, do you think? Or
possibly.
Okay.
Possibly. The circus was a lot, to put on. I'm not opposed to it. It's just maybe doing things a little different.
There's other ideas,
Yeah, exactly.
And then, of course, lantern tours. People always ask about lantern tours.
Those go on sale September 1st. So there's another thing I'll be scrambling around doing in August is getting prepared, to launch ticket sales for that event. And, And then we have the Oil Boom Dinner coming up. I know we don't want to get into fall too much, but Oil Boom Historic Dinner is coming up September 25th. So, it's not like, an event just pops up and it's over. It's like all that planning that goes into it. We're really excited. This year, the dinner is going to be catered by the Titusville Mill. It's going to be, it's just going to be really great. We're going to have different actors and actresses portraying some of the people who lived here in Titusville and who submitted the recipes of the food that they're eating. It's going to be really fun, and I believe I don't want to spoil it, but I think you'll get to see Barry Cressman portraying one of the members of the Scheide family. So it's a must see.
Your news coming up next.
Hiroshima 県議会議長
内閣総理大臣として
As Prime Minister, I would like to offer my sincerest condolences to the souls of those who fell victim to the atomic bomb. And I would also like to offer my heartfelt sympathy to the survivors who are still suffering from the after effects of the atomic bombing.
心からのお見舞いを申し上げます。広島、長崎にもたらされた惨禍を
We must not repeat the tragedy that was brought upon Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It is our country's responsibility, as the only nation that have suffered atomic bombings, to uphold the three non-nuclear principles and lead the global initiative for a world without nuclear weapons.
核戦争のない世界、そして核兵器のない世界の実現。
I pledge to work with all my strength for a world without nuclear wars and weapons, as well as eternal peace.
For over 11 years, Triple M Roofing has been providing Amish quality craftsmanship and work ethic that you can rely on. Pole barns, decks, porches, siding, and almost all roofing needs, Triple M Roofing will get the job done on time without sacrificing quality or the promise to deliver within your budget. Call today for a free estimate, 814-964-0472. Waiting is what you'll do with the other guys. Getting it done is what we do. Amish owned and operated, we're Triple M Roofing.
Who can solve this equation? Ooh! Me. Anyone else? Fine. Jake from State Farm. Okay.
Right. It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle your home and auto, that can equal an affordable price just for you.
Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Are you tired of juggling multiple pill bottles? Titusville Express Pharmacy has your solution, now offering compliance packaging. Your medication sorted and sealed by dose, making it easier than ever to stay on track. In a hurry? Take advantage of our convenient drive-through service. We also offer free local delivery for those that qualify. Titusville Express Pharmacy, where convenience meets care. Visit us today at 401 West Spring Street in Titusville. Simplify your medication routine with Titusville Express Pharmacy.
Poppy's Equipment and Storage Rental in Pleasantville is committed to providing our customers with exceptional service while offering quality rental equipment. Poppy's is now an authorized steel dealer with everything you need to have for sawing and cutting or mowing to digging. And of course, Poppy's has tents, tables, chairs, heaters, generators, barbecues, and more for your next wedding or get-together. Need firewood or propane? No problem. Whether you're in construction or a weekend warrior, reach out to Poppy's about your next project. Poppy's Place on the Tenesta Road in Pleasantville. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, serving Crawford, Venango, Forest, and Warren counties. Their mission is to provide quality, low-cost, and personal financial products for the growth and security of their members and families. Stop in, call, or visit our website, communityconnectfcu.com, and click Join to get started. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, 1050 East Spring Street in Titusville.
Fat Chad's Brewing is Titusville's premier dining destination, offering fine dining served with a cold beverage and great conversations. Try our new menu items, the T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Our pasta entries and sandwiches are just as popular. Try the new lobster ravioli, shrimp and scallop pasta, or our popular Asiago chicken. Don't forget about our famous burgers or fish sandwich, all served with fresh cut fries. Come in Saturday nights for Wild Game Saturdays. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
Titusville Market Square is home to over 100 unique vendors featuring antiques, collectibles, candles, coins, baked goods, dairy products, food items, comic books, toys, and so much more. You'll discover something new every time you walk through the door. Did we mention the selection of baked goods, breads, Clark's Donuts, and Amish pies? Titusville Market Square has you covered. Stop in to explore today. Titusville Market Square in downtown Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
Wall Street's main indexes ended lower on Tuesday, with the Dow falling marginally, the S&P 500 shedding 0.5%, and the Nasdaq losing almost 2/3%. President Donald Trump said tariffs on pharmaceutical imports could eventually go as high as 250%, and signaled duties on semiconductors and chips could be announced in the next week or so. Meanwhile, second quarter earnings results from a slew of companies reflected the weight of tariffs already settled, said Brian Mulberry, client portfolio manager at Zacks Investment Management.
We're starting to see stress form in some of those less healthy balance sheets. Their earnings are starting to slow and, in fact, even turn negative to a certain extent. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, we saw Kohl's turn into a meme stock because, again, their earnings structures are just starting to weaken over time. And then you turn back to the Mag 7, where it just still seems like they've got such a tight grip on the value of this market. They represent a large portion of it. They still make up roughly 30% of the market cap of the S&P, and they're still driving 70 to 75% of the earnings growth in the S&P 500. So we're still in this moment where the Mag 7 goes, the market tends to follow.
Shares of Yum Brands lost more than 5% after the company missed estimates for the second quarter as steep trade duties restricted consumer spending. Among other movers, shares of Snap tumbled roughly 15% in extended trading after the social media company reported its slowest quarterly revenue growth in more than a year, a sign of increased competition from larger rivals, including Meta. And shares of Advanced Micro Devices, down nearly 1.5% at the close, dropped further in extended trading despite forecasting third quarter revenue above Wall Street estimates. Shares of the AI chip maker have climbed more than 40% this year, far outpacing a nearly 12% jump in the benchmark chip index.
Joining us this morning, Kat Thompson from the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce. Good morning, Kat. How are you today?
Good morning, Luke. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you, too. It's good to be here. It's been a little bit of a whirlwind. I was away last week at training in Villanova, but I'm back here in Venango, ready to get back at it.
So this wraps up the final year of the training?
Yes, I have earned my credentials from the Institute of Organization Management, so I am IOM.
Wow.
Kat Thompson IOM.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a long road, 96 hours of training, jam-packed and well worth it. It's a great program through the U.S. Chamber, call it Chamber School. But came back with a lot of great ideas, excited to start implementing and, bring that knowledge back to the Venango area.
That's awesome. And that was over, 4 years, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was my fourth year, so a week a year for 4 years. And like I said, they fill it up. It's 24 hours of classes between Monday morning and Thursday afternoon.
Wow. And it happens to take place during one of the busiest times of year for you.
Absolutely. And that kind of happened by accident the first 2 years because of the way that we align Oil Heritage Festival. It's the fourth Saturday, I think, is what we base it on. The first 2 years I think it was a week in between. Then the last 2 years it overlapped. I could have changed institutes, but I kind of got in with, cohort of people and wanted to continue that proximity as well. So it overlapped the Sunday of festival. So I missed Sunday, the last 2 years of festival. So next year I'll be excited to be back for the whole thing.
Yeah, it's funny. My wife a few years back had a training, and I think it was sort of the same time, end of July, and it was for over 3 years. But she really looked forward to going back and seeing the people that she doesn't see during the year. And even though that was a short period of time, it was such a great time, and they learned a lot, and she really enjoyed that. So it sounds like the same there. You kind of enjoyed the people you were with.
Absolutely. And there were from other chambers and also associations as well. So, nonprofit. I mean, it was The program is essentially, how to run a nonprofit organization. So they focus both on chambers and associations. But, we learned a lot about tools and tech that are really helpful, but a really big takeaway was that people and connections are everything. So not only were we learning that through the class and how to take that back to chamber world and to membership, but we really made those great connections with our classmates, and those are people that I can now utilize to bounce ideas off of, say, hey, here's this issue that we're facing. What did you do? We always say in chamber world, R&D is rip off and duplicate, right? Why reinvent the wheel if somebody else has already, faced that challenge, proceduralized it, so we always encourage our members, if there's somebody that understands your world and your industry, use that network. It really helps to, brainstorm together, share ideas, share challenges, share wins too. Somebody who understands the big win. There's just kind of magic in that, being able to come together with people that really understand what you're facing and what your day-to-day looks like.
That's awesome. I love that. And obviously in the industry we're in, I'm constantly watching commercials and programs and sports networks just to see how we implement TV to TV, what we do, and it helps inspire you at times to kind of notice what's around you.
Absolutely. Inspire you, and also sometimes you need a little time to commiserate if you've had a hard day, something that's a challenge. It really just, I think, makes us better. It makes us stronger. I've got the group chat there now that I can pop that in anytime, with a question or, hey, does anybody have a template for this? Or, hey, what do your invoices look like? Hey, what, have you done if you've, encountered this problem? Or what does your, articles of incorporation look like? All the fun stuff like that.
So we got Susan's take last week on how Oil Heritage Festival went, but with what you were involved in and everything you were doing, give us sort of your recap of everything, because it was such a great event.
Well, it's a great event. You can't predict the weather. That's one thing we can't control. So that made it a little challenging, I think, with the heat, then the rain.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's great to see, even with that, people coming out to celebrate, to connect, to be together. We had so many family-friendly events, so many children's events. So it's great to see kids and families out there making memories. I think Susan was quoted somewhere, when people look back and say, oh, the good old days, that's what kids are thinking about right now. They'll look back on last week or 2 weeks ago and say, oh, those are the good old days. They're making those core memories. When families bring them to these events and come out to the events, whether it's a little warm or not, stay hydrated, put your sunscreen on, be safe if, there's severe weather. But, when families come out together, those are the things that they'll look back on and remember forever. So I'm glad that we're able to help facilitate some of those opportunities for them to have those core memories. And always the parade, starting off the parade with the marching band, I always get, goosebumps for that. So that's always a good time. And I like to touch the trucks too during Touch a Truck just as much as the kids do, So that's always a fun time, and just getting to see so many organizations partner with us and host their events, and just, come together as a community where you know your neighbors and you say hello to everybody. I love that feeling of community togetherness. And
for anybody who says to you, oh, you must be glad festival season's over, I know the hand goes up and says, no, we're getting ready for Cranberry Festival.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
So we are excited about Cranberry Festival. I think that September 20th is our day of the festival we have out in Cranberry. Saturday, September 20th, where, again, that's focused for children. We have a lot of free events for kids, music, food trucks, activities. Businesses get to come out and showcase and connect. So there, I assume, will be a lot of other events on the calendar that week. Last year, we were bringing back a lot of different things with some of the local Cranberry businesses adding events to the calendar. I assume we're going to see those again. I know they're talking about having a parade this year in Cranberry. So we'll see how, I believe that's in the works. So it's going to be another great festival, another great chance to bring your family out or your friends, or just come yourself and see all the great things that are happening and connecting with the community, and for businesses to get involved in the community and to showcase who they are and what they do, and maybe connect with a new audience to help shine a light on your organization or business.
All this going on, and yet a newsletter was delivered last week. It just doesn't stop. I don't know how you guys have time to do this stuff.
Yeah. I wasn't here. I didn't have anything to do with that one. I was gone. I left. I sent all my pictures in, and I'm just as baffled as you. They made it happen somehow, and got out, and another great newsletter, another great edition, another great way for our members to highlight, what's going on with them, some of the wins that they're having, some of the changes in business, some of the things that the community needs to know. And it dropped in the mailbox. So they did it. They're, my teammates here are magic, and they made it happen. So it's great. We've got our 2 interns that will be leaving us soon, but they helped out too.
And is that? I think there's an event coming up. Do the interns get recognized at that event coming up at the? Was it the fish fry?
We have our member steak fry.
Yes.
But no, I don't think they'll be. I don't think they'll be here. We did do a nice little post. It was Intern Appreciation Day. I think that was last week. So we did a nice little post. But I don't think they'll still be with us there. But we'll celebrate them here at the office before they take off. I think Jordan is leaving this week. He's going to Pitt down in Pittsburgh. So I believe he'll be leaving us this week, and then Olivia maybe next week. So we'll celebrate them. Don't you worry. We'll celebrate them here. But we do have the member steak fry coming up. It's kind of a member appreciation event down in Rockmere at the Oil City Boat Club, which is a really great location. You have to be a member to go down there or have an event there. So it's a great opportunity to check out a space that you might not be able to otherwise get into. But we cook our steaks on the grill outside by the river. It's a beautiful location that's coming up Thursday, August 21st. So that's coming up here quick. And
should they get a hold of the chamber to reserve their spot for that event?
Absolutely. Okay. Yep. Our members give us a call or email Tessa, or go on our website on our events page. You can register right through there. But, any of the ways that you know how to contact us, you can let us know, and we'll be excited to see you there.
If you think about it, for those companies that utilize interns, it's really, hey, thanks for being with us this summer. Let us know around the holidays. That's right around the corner. So a lot of times these companies will see the interns come back, at Christmas, sometime maybe between Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. And then, if they're in college, maybe they're starting back in May. So it's usually a quick year and quick turnaround for interns.
Yeah, absolutely. And we highly recommend that for, if you can make it happen with your organization. We try to, keep our ear to the ground on any funding opportunities for interns. This year, we didn't really hear of any, but in the past, there's been different opportunities that we've connected member businesses with. We'll keep looking out for those opportunities. But if you have the means to hire an intern, it is a great way. It does take some work, just like managing volunteers, managing people, interns. It takes a little preparation and planning and a little work to do it right. But it's so rewarding, not only for the intern to get that experience, but for the organization as well. They bring some new, fresh energy, new, fresh ideas. Ask them, what do they think about it? It's a new perspective on your organization. And then, like you said, we've definitely had that where they've come back on their winter break, through Christmas, and then they usually have some time off in January. We've had interns come back and help out through the winter. And then, they typically start in May, but you want to be planning for that, thinking through how you're going to make that happen, budgeting for it, and thinking of, throughout the year, what are those tasks that, are always in the parking lot that never get done? Maybe you can put an intern on that. What's something that would be, a good job for them to work on? bringing their skill set in. But you want to start thinking about it early on in the year, the beginning of the year, to start looking and advertising that. We used Handshake as a website specifically for interns. So there's a lot of opportunity there.
And as you said, if you plan well for that, you'll probably find you get more out of the experience than if you just say, yeah, we'll take somebody, and then they're just sitting around because you haven't prepared for it.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, preparation is key, just like with anything. And then, you never know what that will turn into, whether they'll come back and work. I know the Chamber's hired interns full-time in the past when there's been opportunity. Ashley Sheffer was a Chamber intern, and not only that, the connections that you make down the line. My friend Lindsay was an intern here, and she's in IT. And so, we called on her multiple times because, we built that relationship with the Chamber. She knows our systems, and, called and asked her. So you never know what kind of benefits you might have down the line based on that connect. Just like with any networking and connecting, again, kind of going back to, one of my takeaways from from IOM, people and connections are everything. And that's just another way to build a unique relationship, especially which is typically cross-generational, right? And again, there's a lot of, I keep using the word magic, but there's a lot of magic in that. I think when you, work collaboratively across generations, you get definitely new perspectives. You might feel a little old sometimes, but it's a really great experience. And, people are always quick to say kids these days. And it's like, well, have you talked to one? Have you learned from them? Have you asked them about their perspective? You might learn something from them.
You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Kat Thompson with us here this morning from the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce. Hard to believe leadership will be starting back up here shortly. You ready for another season?
I think we are ready for another season. And, we have a new employee here, Hannah, will be going through. We were just talking about that yesterday as we were working on a project. She was excited about that next month because it's August now and it starts in September. So it'll be starting next month. We're, getting our applications in, and it's just always so interesting to see the industries. And there again, that's the theme, I guess, is people and connections are everything. Not only, with our leadership class, are you learning the leadership concepts and best practices and, meeting other organizations and leaders in the community. The way that the class learns from each other and connects with each other is one of the major benefits of going through the leadership program as well. We're seeing so many industries. We have manufacturing. Bears Furniture, a new member is sending someone. So someone in, retail furniture. We have another one from Morrison Funeral Home will be sending someone, talk about a new perspective on, doing business. That's really different. We have, so many other organizations, different industries that are sending people and people at different levels of their leadership journey. This is not just for young professionals. I think sometimes people think, the Chamber, has the Flex program, the Young Professionals program. That's what the leadership class is for. It's not. It's for anybody at any part of your leadership journey. Even if you're a seasoned leader, the world is changing. People are changing. The staff you're managing are changing. And there's so much to learn, through leadership perspectives and again, best practices and things like that. Susan always says that, she's been, in leadership for over 20 years and she learns something every single year. So it's really for anybody to participate in. And I'm looking forward to, when I can kind of take the time to go through it again. I don't always get to go to all of the sessions, but, I really enjoy it when I get to pop in and learn with the class.
That's got to be fascinating because you could take the exact same program, but just bring in new people and it's going to be a different experience. Now, that's not the case because the experiences change, each year, but it has to be fascinating. And again, when you talk about somebody who might be younger, somebody who might be more seasoned, just that conversation with somebody to understand, thought processes. It's got to be incredible. And if somebody's saying, boy, and let's start with the business side of it. If a business owner's saying, boy, this is a program that I really want to support. I want to send, maybe one of our employees through, but it's tough to send, somebody out that once a month. Or can they sit down with you and have that conversation and kind of work out the specifics of everything?
Absolutely. We have a predictable schedule, so they can plan that out for the whole year. I think really the only thing that changes a little bit is the graduation date, but we have a pretty good idea of that, and that's through an afternoon and evening, and always in May. So they even with that can have a little bit of a good guess of when that would be. So absolutely, they can sit down and look at the schedule. We do say, you cannot miss more than 2 just because it's once a month. So, we want to make sure that people are really investing in it and taking the time to do it, even though we know, it's a big ask to be out for a whole day, but it's so well worth it to do that. We always tell businesses, again, another thing we repeat a lot is make sure you're taking time to work on the business, not just in the business. And this is one of those things that's helping you work on the business by, developing leaders within the company, within the organization. It's really doing a lot for your business. So it can be a bit of a sacrifice, but I think it's well worth it for the outcome, what that leader gets out of connecting with the program. So we're happy to talk through that. Any questions, about the schedule and, what that program and process looks like, we're happy to talk through that. And we do interviews with all of them to, to make sure that the attendee understands, what the program is and make sure that they can ask any questions before we get started as well. Because we know it's a big commitment, but it's definitely well worth it.
And the way this year's flying, it's probably safe to say it goes fast. So
it goes so fast. Yeah, it's a 9-month program, but it goes quick.
All right. If somebody missed the opportunity to sign up, too late for that, or could they still get in?
No, we still are taking applications. So give us a call at the chamber, or go online. You can find all of the information about that on our website, but you can also reach out to us, and we're happy to share.
Okay. And then, Kat, is there time if somebody maybe isn't a chamber member, maybe somebody is a chamber member, but they just want to kind of figure out maybe some things that make sense for them in terms of, marketing or what they can do to get, maximum membership out of the chamber? You'll make time to sit with them?
Absolutely. We'll make time to sit with them. I was out visiting several members yesterday, even though, I'm trying to get caught up. We always want to make time for our members. And, we try to check in as much as we can, but, sometimes we don't, if you've got something going on, we don't know until you tell us. So absolutely reach out to us. We'd love to sit down, grab a cup of coffee, or if Zoom makes sense for you, we want to hear how things are going, how we can help, how you can maximize your membership for sure.
All right. And the website and Facebook page, always great content there. So if you want to see what's coming up, you can check out those pages. And if they want to call or stop in, how do they do that?
So our number is 814-676-8521. We're located at 100 Seneca Street on the 5th floor. The elevator is running well. So you stop in and see us. We do have a ribbon cutting tomorrow, so we'll be out of the office a little bit. So always give us a call if you plan to stop in, just to make sure we're not out at an event or something like that. But we'd love to say hello and see how things are going.
It sounds like it's a pretty busy building now.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, we've got our downstairs neighbors, the Exchange by Side Hustle, a restaurant distillery, chamber member. They're up and running. I think Wednesday through Sunday. They've got different hours each day. I think lunch is Friday through Sunday, but they're open for dinner Wednesday and Thursday as well, I think. So they're on Facebook, the Exchange, Oil City. So and we'll be seeing the coffee shop opening up here soon too, as well, a second location. Wow. So. We've got somebody in the co-working space and lots going on.
Kat, good to see you. All the best.
You too. Thanks, Luke.
All right. Thank you. Kat Thompson joining us here this morning from the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce.
広島県議会議長
内閣総理大臣として
As Prime Minister, I would like to offer my sincerest condolences to the souls of those who fell victim to the atomic bomb. And I would also like to offer my heartfelt sympathy to the survivors who are still suffering from the after effects of the atomic bombing.
心からのお見舞いを申し上げます。広島、長崎にもたらされた惨禍を
We must not repeat the tragedy that was brought upon Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It is our country's responsibility, as the only nation that have suffered atomic bombings, to uphold the three non-nuclear principles and lead the global initiative for a world without nuclear weapons.
核戦争のない世界、そして核兵器のない世界の実現。
I pledge to work with all my strength for a world without nuclear wars and weapons, as well as eternal peace.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Levin, and I proudly own and operate Puppy Levin. Puppy Levin is a pet care salon dedicated to caring for your furry companions. We provide certified dog grooming services, along with boarding and doggy daycare. Our facility is family-owned and operated and promise personalized care for every pet that comes through our doors. If you're worried about your furry friend being lonely when you're gone, we also have on-site personnel 24/7 just for their comfort. Follow us on Facebook and call or text us at 814-758-9259 to make an appointment today.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
Sheer Design is Titusville's exclusive Paul Mitchell-focused salon. This full-service salon specializes in coloring, cuts, nails, and tanning. Owner Angela Saxon has over 20 years' experience as a Paul Mitchell professional. She and her licensed staff offer all cuts and styles for men and women of all ages. Call 814-827-0010 or stop in at 116 South Kerr Street in Titusville.
J. Gill Plumbing and Heating takes pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. With over 30 years of experience, our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. Our team is dedicated to making your home the ultimate place of comfort. Call today to get a free estimate. We also offer financing options and membership opportunities that provide peace of mind and cost savings. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online 24/7 at jgillplumbingheating.com.
If you're looking for a professional massage therapist, Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville is here for you. Rayan Rauch graduated from Slippery Rock University with a bachelor's degree in exercise and rehabilitative sciences with an emphasis in athletic training. Tranquil Moments offers a wide range of services, from Swedish massage to deep tissue, sugar scrubs to hot towel inclusion therapy. Like them on Facebook and visit their website to learn more about all the services they offer. Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville.
Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733.
Wall Street's main indexes ended lower on Tuesday, with the Dow falling marginally, the S&P 500 shedding 0.5%, and the Nasdaq losing almost 2/3%. President Donald Trump said tariffs on pharmaceutical imports could eventually go as high as 250%, and signaled duties on semiconductors and chips could be announced in the next week or so. Meanwhile, second quarter earnings results from a slew of companies reflected the weight of tariffs already settled, said Brian Mulberry, client portfolio manager at Zacks Investment Management.
We're starting to see stress form in some of those less healthy balance sheets. Their earnings are starting to slow and, in fact, even turn negative to a certain extent. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, we saw Kohl's turn into a meme stock because, again, their earnings structures are just starting to weaken over time. And then you turn back to the Mag 7, where it just still seems like they've got such a tight grip on the value of this market. They represent a large portion of it. They still make up roughly 30% of the market cap of the S&P, and they're still driving 70 to 75% of the earnings growth in the S&P 500. So we're still in this moment where the Mag 7 goes, the market tends to follow.
Shares of Yum Brands lost more than 5% after the company missed estimates for the second quarter as steep trade duties restricted consumer spending. Among other movers, shares of Snap tumbled roughly 15% in extended trading after the social media company reported its slowest quarterly revenue growth in more than a year, a sign of increased competition from larger rivals, including Meta. And shares of Advanced Micro Devices, down nearly 1.5% at the close, dropped further in extended trading despite forecasting third quarter revenue above Wall Street estimates. Shares of the AI chip maker have climbed more than 40% this year, far outpacing a nearly 12% jump in the benchmark chip index.
Well, partly to mostly cloudy skies today. Stray shower thunderstorm possible. Highs in the low 80s. Partly cloudy skies tonight with a low of 60. Thursday, mostly sunny, low 80s. Friday, partly cloudy, low 80s. Saturday, partly cloudy, mid 80s. Sunday, mostly sunny with temperatures in the upper 80s. Meadville this morning checking in at 67 degrees. Camber Springs, Edinburgh at 66, 66 in Titusville, 65 Franklin, 64 in Oil City. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Well, from the United Way of the Venango and Titusville region, it's Mallory Spence. Hi, Mallory. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
Good to see you this morning.
Hey, it's great to be here.
Wow. We never get that. Everybody's like, we're here again? No, I'm joking. What's been new and exciting in your world?
We've had a lot going on this summer. Most recently, we did our National Night Out events last night. I know there was one in Titusville held at the police and fire departments. We also had 7 in Venango County.
Wow. So busy night.
Yes.
And for those who might not be familiar with this event, just kind of talk about what happens and what it's about.
Okay, so we get sponsorships for this to fund the events. We have a major sponsor with UPMC Northwest and UPMC Health Plan. But then we also got some other sponsors this year. So we had American Legion in Titusville, the Elks Club in Franklin, and then we had the Eagles in Oil City. So we put these out to small committees, neighborhood committees usually. Some agencies do them, but they're just small neighborhood block parties to help introduce children to first responders so that they get a positive experience with police and firefighters and EMTs.
Yeah, it's a great experience.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, so.
So we split them up last night. I attended the 2 in Franklin. There was one at Christ United, and there was also one at the Rocky Grove Fire Hall.
So busy night.
Yeah, there was
great.
A lot of people attended. They seem to get bigger every year, and the weather was great this year, which was very positive.
And this happens every year for the most part, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So it's a national event. It's held on the first Tuesday in August.
Okay. So look, if you missed out last night, look for
Put it on your calendar for next year.
There you go.
Already.
And it's great that all these communities take part in that. It's an awesome opportunity, again, to meet people. And I know they get to show off some of the equipment, too, which is kind of cool.
They do. There was a lot of fire trucks. The first one we attended, actually, the fire truck that was there had to leave because they got a call.
Wow.
I was like, wow. And I know there's one held in Clintonville. They have Lifelike come in with a helicopter. So that's always really cool. The kids like to see the trucks and the helicopters, and it's a very neat event.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Next, what's on the list? There's so many things going on right now. What the Little Layers sock drive that's going on?
Yes. So we launched the Little Layers sock drive on August 1st. That is a drive for new socks, undergarments, leggings, joggers, basically any kind of basic clothing items. We are going to be collecting them through the 22nd of August and then splitting those up and donating them to the school care closets.
I would love to donate. The problem is it seems like I can never find the other pair after washing them. It's like, okay, I got one sock here and there's...
New items only.
Okay, perfect.
Just to put that out there. So we have been set up. We have them at the United Way offices. In Titusville, we have them at the Merck and then also at Warner's. I know Warner's is doing a discount for customers if you come in and donate.
Oh, wow.
So this one is the Iron Furnace. That is in Franklin. They are giving a free cookie for donating customer, and Warner's is doing, I want to say 10 or 15%. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry, I haven't posted that to our Facebook page yet. Then we also have drop-offs in Venango at the Iron Furnace and Perk Up, which is out in Seneca.
Awesome. It's how cool is it to whether it's this National Night Out where you can pick up the phone and say, hey, we're doing this event, and these businesses or organizations say, let us know what we can do to help.
It's wonderful. We did not expect the businesses that partnered with us to do like a promotion to help people get in there. So I love that they wanted to help. We're also doing a day drive at Titusville Walmart on August 15th. We'll be there, I believe, from 9 to 2. The bins in Titusville can also be used to put in school supplies, notebooks, pencils, and we'll be donating them to Associated Charities. I know they have their huge back to school event every year. So those items can also be dropped off in those bins, and we'll be giving them to them.
And when it comes to school supply drives, there's a number of these going on in our area?
Usually there are quite a few. Which is why we decided to try to do something a little bit different, to try to collect other items instead of everybody just doing the exact same thing. We're trying to fill the gaps where there are gaps and get kids everything that they need.
It's got to be so strange to think that the kids are going back to school at the end of the month.
I can't believe it.
Can you talk about some of the needs that people might not realize, especially going back to school? But there's a lot of things that come up during the school year, but why is it important to make sure, these types of things are taken care of now so when they start school, they're off to a good start?
Well, I mean, it's been a while ago, but I remember the first day of school being like the best way to kind of show off. Like, hey, this is me. You guys haven't seen me for 3 months. Look at me with my fresh cut and my new clothes.
Yeah.
So I think it's a self-esteem thing. It makes them feel better. I think there's a lot of peer pressure with children. Their kids are very sweet, but they can also be really mean sometimes without even meaning to. I think haircuts are important. Again, I know Associated Charities partnered with the Salvation Army does that in Titusville. We do our hair affair in Venango County, where we provide free haircuts for children before the school year starts. And
And that's this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's the back to school hair affair head to toes, which was new this year, the head to toes. So usually we did school supplies and backpacks. And it was brought up to us that so many different places were doing backpacks. And kids were like, oh, I've already gotten 3. So we wanted to, again, try to bridge this or fill this gap that we saw. So this year we decided to do new school shoes, which has always been, we have always heard it is a need, but it's definitely difficult and slightly more expensive. But so we decided to do that this year. We filled those registrations within 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
We did 100 pairs of shoes. Now we had them register, we got their shoe size, and we have a distribution then later this month. But we were pretty shocked at how quickly that went through. So we did 100 pairs of shoes and I think 155 haircuts within 2 days. We were completely full and had to stop that.
I don't think sometimes people realize during the course of a school year, you might have a teacher, an administrator, a staff member, maybe not, somebody from the United Way, people that are in the schools that recognize a need and may pick up a pair of shoes or a notebook or something during the course of the year. And obviously they're not trying to bring any attention to the situation at all. They're just trying to help. But my point is, if you don't think that those needs are there, they're there.
They are definitely there. And that's what is so nice about the care closets in the schools, is that it's easy for teachers or administrators or other staff to easily just walk down the hall, go to the closet, and discreetly get an item that maybe a child needs without making a whole ordeal about it.
Yeah. And again, there's some tough situations out there. But, if somebody is watching this and they say, boy, well, thank you. That's being very helpful. What can I do? Can they donate money so if this comes up?
Yes.
Okay.
They can. So they can donate directly to we do a fund for the personal care closets that we then give back to the schools. Our new website is up and running. It's United Way VTR is finally active. And if you go to our website, click on education, and then go to our personal care closets, there's a direct link so that we know you don't want it to go directly to our campaign. It would go specifically for funding those.
Okay. I pulled up the website. Well, I was going to make a joke, but it disappeared. Great site. No, it had all the staff and the crew, and I was just making sure that was United Way. And
who knows?
Yeah.
Hopefully it was.
No, what a great site. So everything is coming together.
Everything is combined on this site. It just became live Monday, actually. Oh, wow. So it's pretty fresh.
And if you scroll through, you can see key initiatives. There's all sorts of information. There's stories you can read about, news, contact information, upcoming events. Very nice.
Thank you.
It doesn't just happen overnight, does it? It takes a lot of work to get this together. It does take
quite a bit of work to get it all put together and make sure everything's working.
So you're a director of resource management. Okay.
Yes.
What does that entail? What's the day-to-day like for you?
So my duties include finance and marketing, which I hear all the time. These are usually not positions that one person handles. So it just depends on what day it is. I worked a lot on our website. I do most of our marketing. I also handle all of our finances. So it's kind of just a mix.
So you kind of know everything that's going on because you have to know to market it. But I'm sure there's sometimes something that comes across your desk and you go, oh, we're doing that? That's cool. That's great.
I do try to stay in the loop enough that I know what I'm supposed to be promoting.
Now, I'm sure Jennifer's kind of going through okay, the countdown's on, back to school here, getting everybody ready. Mm-hmm. A lot of work goes into that, doesn't it?
It does. I feel like most of our employees that are in the schools are generally pretty ready to get back to work after the summer, get back in there, start helping.
Does some of that have to do with maybe that, for some kids, the best 8 hours of their day might be when they're in school?
I have heard that before.
Okay.
I definitely appreciate all those people that work in the school districts. We had our career camps. I understand they came here.
Yeah, would you like some of them back? Some of them we had to lock up.
I attended one day of that camp. I think it was our highest year of enrollment for that. We had about 30 children, which is a lot. And I attended one day and I was like, wow, this is a lot of work. So anyone that does that every day of their life, I'm like, wow, kudos.
Yeah. Well, and the chaperones did a good job. Even though I had an idea of like how many kids were coming, it wasn't until they all came in, it was like, okay, that's a lot.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sounded like they were having a great time in all the places they were visiting.
It did. So I think it's great that a lot of the kids that register for that are repeats from previous years. So it just goes to show how great they do. The United Way staff that is in charge of that, putting that together and making sure that they're learning and having fun. It's not just like, oh, I can't believe I have to go to this again. They get to do exciting things, and I love that.
And if they missed out this year, look forward again
Yes,
next year.
we do plan to do it again next year. I can't say I know what career clusters they'll be focusing on, but
Okay.
I'm sure it'll be a great time.
Yeah. I'm sure they came back after this visit and went, okay, never again.
I heard a lot of positive things, actually, after this one. So great job. Outside of locking kids in the closet.
Yeah, and again, you can take them back with you when you leave. You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. The United Way of Venango and Titusville region. It's Mallory Spence with us here this morning. New website, UnitedWayVTR.org. You can go there and see what's happening with the United Way. There's a lot going on, of course, over the summer months, but now we're getting into the fall and the holiday season. What does that mean for the United Way?
Well, so our campaign is kicking off. I did want to mention that.
Okay.
So we kicked that off on the 1st. We're working on our mailer, employee campaigns. We did announce our campaign ambassadors. So this year, for the first time, we're doing a large group. We are using all the superintendents from the whole region.
Oh, cool.
So there is 7 of them. And we're very excited to work with such a strong group of people that care about especially the youth in the area. So we are hoping that this is going to be another very successful campaign year. I know you know about that. You were a campaign ambassador last year for Titusville.
It's all just blurry.
Blurred together.
Yeah, time is just flying. But this is fantastic. What a good group of people. And
I know there's 9 people in this picture that you have up. That's because 2 of them are retiring. So we wanted to include their replacement in the picture as well. I didn't want anyone to be like, she said 7 and there's 9. I can count.
That's another camp somebody can attend.
Yes, maybe I should attend that one.
So talk a little bit about what the ambassadors will be doing. And again, during this time, what can people do to help contribute to the campaign?
So the ambassadors really just go out there. They campaign for United Way, let people know what we're doing. I still think as much as we try to get ourselves out there, it is still common for people to be like, we don't understand what you do. I actually talked to a police officer a few months ago and I said I work at United Way and he was like, is that like Agway? And I was like, no, this is completely a separate thing. Wow. So we like to use people to get out there. Everyone has like a different reach, and I do think word of mouth is one of the best ways to get to people. So that is their main duty over the course of our campaign. It'll run from August, usually until about mid-March, just to help get the word out, help people that maybe don't know what we're doing care about our mission and how much we help to help them support us and then in turn help the community.
Would you say, and I think I hear this less, where if there is somebody that will ask a question, it's, well, how much stays in the community versus, because I think sometimes people think, well, the money raised, a big portion of it leaves our area.
I do agree with that. So 99% of what we raise stays local. The only part that actually goes out of the community are for dues that we pay for our branding. It is a very small amount.
But you get support with that too,
yes.
Right? That's a part of a network,
yes.
And I think people understand that. And so it is funny when you have that conversation with somebody and you're like, well, no, the majority of it stays here.
Yes.
It's like, oh, okay. So I don't know if in the past that was different.
I don't think it's ever been different. I think there is a lot of confusion. I think everybody hears a negative story.
Okay.
And they tend to hold on to that negative story instead of, hey, there's all these positive stories out here. My grandma is a prime example. I've worked at United Way for 7.5 years, and she still talks about an event that happened in Chicago in like 85. I'm like, come on, Grams.
Yeah. So if you have a question like that, they can call and schedule an appointment, maybe just have a conversation and learn more about what United Way
Yeah, we
can
would love to do
Okay.
that. They can just call us. Any of us can talk to you. If you're an employer, we always offer to come in if you have like a staff meeting and you would like us to speak to your employees about what we do, where it goes. We are always happy to do anything like that.
And you're going to share stories with businesses that include other businesses that say this is what another company's doing, and they're helping to raise money, and it goes to support these programs, and this is the impact it has. I was amazed at the banquet a few months back, or more. Just you're talking millions of dollars of impact in our region.
Yes, it is a ton. It's a lot, and I don't think people realize, again, like exactly what it is, what all is being helped internally, and then with the programs that we fund, the amount of people that we reach, I would say roughly is about 40,000 people in some way, just in the region of Titusville and Venango County.
Wow, that's a great.
Not saying that everyone's being helped the same way, but through different, the Imagination Library or the social workers we have in the schools. I mean, it is a big number.
Help with taxes.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that's offered. And again, these are things you can learn, and especially as you're kicking off the campaign, say, hey, this is, these are things that are important, and these are things that are important to me. It makes for a better community. Yes, I can get behind that and support it.
Yes. Please check out our website. All of our information is on there now, and it should be up to date because, again, it just launched on Monday. So if it isn't up to date, I did not do a good job.
There, donate. It's right there.
Yes.
So.
Or we also have the Get Connected. If maybe you can't financially contribute, volunteering in the community is also always very important. So there's a tab that says Get Involved, I think.
Yeah.
And there's a volunteer tab that'll take you to actually a different website where it just lists all the volunteer opportunities.
And by the way, again, you don't have to wait for certain periods of the year to donate, correct? You can
donate
anytime.
We will gladly take a donation all year. I did want to mention, just I realize we're getting close on time. We do have a garden event coming up on Friday, the Blooming Book Bash. It will be at the community garden. It's from 11 to 2, and families and children are welcome. Children under 5 get a bag of books and garden supplies, but there will be snacks and activities, planting. The garden it's thriving. It is. There's a lot going on. If you haven't checked it out, please do. So that will be an exciting thing for the garden.
It's really cool to drive past and just see everything growing, but to see people go in, take care of it, or people coming out with something. I mean, it's really a cool place.
We've had a lot more people this year ask to help out, like actually reach out to us, and they're like, hey, I see the garden. Do you care if I water it? And we're like, no, please water it. And take vegetables and sit there. We have an umbrella now, so there's shade.
Oh, wow. So should they call and just let somebody know at the United Way, or they can just go in?
So if you want to go in and weed, you can definitely just do that. To water, they would need to call, so that we can let them know how to do it. We don't have that. The water is not always running.
Okay. Mallory, a lot of great information. Again, if somebody has a question or they want more information, how do they find you?
Well, you can find us on Facebook, or you can call us at 676-6545.
Okay. And great staff.
Or email us. We have an email too. Yeah.
Just use that. But somebody will be more than happy to sit down, and
we would love to.
Campaign season.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, good luck. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Hey, thank you for having me.